How awesome was the toilet?
Speaking of pieces of shit, let's talk about Jesse for a minute. He was already like Wreck-It Ralph, like just through everything.
Like, oh my god.
And welcome to our Week 3 Opposite Worlds recap, where we're being joined by Rachel Horton, and we have an interview where we ask your questions to Angela, who is eliminated this week. You can jump to that interview right over there, but why would you want to do that? You want to watch this interview with Rachel. She gives a lot of good insider secrets and juice on the cast. Okay, but hey, since you guys are watching in YouTube, make sure you comment in the section below because we want to keep the conversation going with all of you. And since you're on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps support our shows, as does clicking on that Amazon link on the homepage of yourrealityrecaps.com if you guys have any online shopping to do. But since you're technically still in YouTube, have you seen our daily vlog shows yet? They are so amazing. Thumbs up that channel and subscribe to it as well. The links to that and everything I mentioned in this intro is below this video. But hey, those daily vlogs, they're really cool. They let you see what our life is like outside of the show. They're just really funny. They're really short. They're only like 5 minutes long. But hey, did I also mention yet? I have some amazing news. Guess what? Next Saturday, February 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we're doing our super amazing Valentine's Day Love and Relationship Advice Show, where myself, John, and some reality stars are going to be taking your love and relationship questions live and answering them. Because haven't you always wanted your love and relationship questions answered by reality stars and gays? Why wouldn't you? You can watch that, watch any of our live shows, or get the schedule for when we're doing our live shows over at yourrealityrecaps.com/live show. But since you guys are here for Opposite Worlds, you should probably also know our Opposite Worlds show videos, blogs, everything are archived. These shows archived, as well as where we chat live with you during Opposite Worlds, is over at yourrealityrecaps.com/oworlds. But enough of my talking. You know the deal. You can follow me over at Twitter. I'm at Reality Recaps. And who's here with me?
Hey everyone, it's John Richardson. So excited to talk about Opposite Worlds. The more I read, the more I like. You can follow me on Twitter at ComedyJonah.
Oh, hi. Rachel Lara, I guess, the one and only, as you were saying. Yeah, Team Kronos, I guess. You can follow me at iRachelLara on Twitter.
Before we even get into this week's show with you, Rachel, because we were dying to know what you think about it, how has things been for you since leaving the Opposite Worlds split house?
I'm not even going to lie. I've actually had dreams, and, well, it started off as nightmares, and now it's progressively become more whimsical, and, like, now it's like funny dreams. In which I wake up and I, tell my roommates, guess where I just was? They're like, oh my goodness. But so, yeah, I can't even imagine what it's like for the others coming back, but adjusting after that was really weird. It was really bizarre.
And that was only after what? Like you were there for like the whole process? So
the whole process, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. And they didn't let you guys, obviously. Were you living in the house at all before the show actually started? Like, I know Big Brother, they're in the house pretty much for like a week or two before we even start seeing anything.
We were actually blindfolded until we walked into the house. Like, we're at the top of the steps. We were blindfolded until then. Even, wardrobe, everything, we were blindfolded almost the entire time.
When did you do the naked thong pictures, body scans?
Oh, when as in...
Like before? Because that wasn't like you were blindfolded. Because I don't even get that. Or, here, I'll make the question more specific. Did production come up to you and say, hey guys, we have a great idea. You're all getting into thongs and bras, and we're going to scan you up and down for national TV. And no one thought that?
Actually, the idea was a little different from them before. And under a little bit of protest, it changed. So it obviously came before because it was part of the intro trailer, but
Right.
it was cold. It was so cold. Oh. Other than that, I don't know what I can say about that.
Where were you? Where is it filmed?
I
I've heard
can't
different-
say.
They
That is
can't.
like the one thing that we
What?
are not allowed to say. I know. Everybody's going crazy and keeps asking me. Somebody said, like, is it on Hoth? I'm like, oh.
Well, I guess I keep thinking it's California, and then people are saying, "Oh, it's so cold," and I'm like, California's not cold, but
Not that cold.
not that cold.
Not that
no.
cold. Not frozen tomatoes and sub-freezing water cold.
Right.
We're going to have to ask Luke. We're going to have to ask Luke where this is filmed when we have him on for the finale, and then find out why we're not allowed to
Yeah.
know. Luke, we are coming for you, but we have a lot of good
I don't know if he'll be able to
to.
tell you yet. We'll see.
Oh, we'll get it out of him.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. We'll get it
You
out
can
of
be very persuasive, Rachel.
So there. Teach me your
Mhm.
ways.
Oh, how you
Well,
doing?
Here's something that I heard. I'm going to say I heard this. Actually, I'll say I heard it from James Wallington when he was doing his show over on AfterBuzz. He said that Wyatt jumped the glass wall and went into the future and ate their food. James didn't say
I don't know
Wyatt.
how that happened. I never saw it. I think that's amazing. I mean, one time I went into the back area where we had the jacuzzi and whatnot, and I saw Wyatt, like, he'd like shimmied up a tree and like scaled up to the top of their environment and was just like working on things like with his little implements and tools, and it was amazing to me. I'm like, how is he up there? It's amazing. So I don't doubt it, but I don't know. I didn't see it.
Could you
What?
have scaled the wall?
I never tried. It was a little hard in those constricting white outfits. I think they would have noticed. They'd been like, why are you all covered in debris? We couldn't hide it as well because they were already covered in, like, debris.
Well, I'm sure that the producers and everybody are aware when something like that happens. I mean, they're clearly watching you guys 24/7.
Well, I mean, there was actually a point where I had wanted to, me and Jeffrey, as they called him, wanted to, that makes me laugh so hard. We called him Fry the entire time we were there, but we wanted to throw them. They said, can you throw us an orange? We need vitamin C. Please throw us an orange. I really wanted to, but we didn't want to get disqualified. So, of course, Jeffrey later went and did it by himself with his little alliances.
And
But,
didn't get disqualified.
No. But
Well,
we don't know the rules like that. I mean, it's kind of just like, all right, now do your thing, and then crazy things are going to happen, and now Athena pops up and tell them to go to the present. The first time we heard that, we were like, what does that mean? Go to the present. Do we do that? And do we just like, okay, guys, go to the present? Is that the door? We could not figure it out.
I'm really interested in that. Now, did Athena play a role any other time, or did she talk to you any other times other than that one time?
We heard from Athena twice. Maybe they've heard from her more,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't know.
I'm going to have to ask Angela that, and I'm going to have to ask her about rules of the game. When
She
we
wouldn't
get up.
have heard Athena, though, because Athena was only on the future.
Right. And Angela is in the cave world.
But for those of
Poor
us,
Angela.
who understand the way a building works, I'm
Or
It
a glass
actually
wall.
wasn't.
Or
It
glass-
wasn't that loud, and that part was
No?
actually covered. Yeah, that one wasn't that loud because they clearly didn't hear it. I mean, it was tripped out.
So really then, if they can't hear back and forth on the other side of the wall, literally nothing, not even if you guys were screaming, yelling, so you...
Oh no, we would go up and like, hey guys, do you want to take, and like we'd like hold up like the device and be like, look at the picture we just took of you. See it? Oh, isn't that great? And we would have conversations with them. So what's your toilet look like? How you guys feeling? You guys okay? Is Lauren's finger okay? And conversations like that. And we could hear each other, and we did a lot of signing and writing things. But yeah, I mean, it was still kind of. It was like, can you a little bit louder? I can't hear you, and you'd have to come like right up their mouth, so blah, 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 you know.
Well, we're seeing a lot of that in the show, even up to like this week. And to me, I would think maybe strategy-wise, you wouldn't want to be so friendly with them, right? Because you're essentially competing with them for $100,000.
Well,
Everybody seems to be very friendly.
Yeah, the thing is in the beginning, you walk in, we didn't know whether we were supposed to be friendly with our team and the people that we were living with, if we were supposed to be just on our own. And we eventually came to find that this was starting off with a team thing. And it's like, take your strength when you can, and then, you know, when it gets down to the end and the nitty-gritty, then you start going, it gets ruthless. But when we walked in, it's like I noticed a lot of things that other people didn't really notice. You know, like the 7 closets. I'm like, there's got to be people coming. What is going on? Like I noticed like the curtain. You know, there's like a countdown. I started noticing all these things, and I didn't really tell the other people yet because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to. If this, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
So being friendly with them, we weren't too friendly ever. We tried to keep our, you know, what we do and whatnot under wraps. I mean, it's like, because for all you know, people are like, fry.
Now, Rachel, too, thank you for that. Now, I'm really known for my hard-hitting questions. How awesome was the toilet? How awesome was the toilet?
It was so good. I talk about that a lot. Yeah? It was my favorite aspect. I really do. Yeah, no, it was great.
Heated? Did it understand your voice? Like, hello, it's Rachel. Oh,
no, it's like Athena coming from the toilet. No, actually, the toilet. It was. We found ourselves when they were doing, you know, their like testimonials and stuff. We were in the bathroom a lot, which was fun because it was this big, expansive, beautiful area. But like the toilets were heated all the time. I mean, it had like a full control panel with like radio user settings, like. I never really got to mess with the bidet, but there was dual bidets. You can move everything, I guess.
Yeah, it moves everything all right. Oh, yeah.
So I heard.
This is why other countries hate America, with our heated toilets and our radios in them.
Toilet paper.
With our toilet paper.
That was actually one of the few things that I was thinking about. I'm like, I really don't want to leave these toilets. Like, this is because you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like finding your way, because it's like you wake up, you're like, am I home? Where I'm here. And then you like walk to the washroom, and you know, you go in and you're like, it's warm now, because it was actually pretty cold on our side. People don't really realize that it was pretty cold. They had their fire going.
Yeah. You look like you were suffering.
Well, I want everybody to comment below, because is it just me? I don't get what the toilet. I didn't know that a cold toilet seat is life changing. So you guys need to comment below for after the fact.
A cold one is.
Like, am I supposed to like open up the chat thing?
Nope. I got it all under control.
Okay.
I will throw them up on the screen for you.
It's all you.
And, don't worry, we're not going to be asking toilet questions. I just want to know later on when I watch it back that I was correct.
I would hunt that. I would hunt the toilet down, and I would get one if I could. Yeah, I'd invest in that.
But Eric, I think what you mean is a heated toilet seat is a life changer.
No, I don't get it. I've never gone to the bathroom. Well, when you can
see the crags and like their whole like hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't really see that, but like they would walk in.
We saw it this week. Yeah.
Did you? They were all we heard was like there's stalagmites, and so we asked him, we're like, "What's your bathroom like?" And he's like, "Oh, stalagmites and stalactites." Or
we saw Jesse and Frank clean it and gagging.
Yeah, it's just basically a hole in the ground. But, you know, speaking of pieces of shit, let's talk about Jesse for a minute. So, no, I do not. John, I wanted to feed you that line because you know that I am Team Jesse, and I love him, and I was
Team
right.
Who?
I like Jesse. I can't stand Jeff Ryan.
I love Jesse. As a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him did not get along very well at all.
What? See, this is what I don't understand. John hates him. I know that you're not really watching the show, Rachel.
Well,
he's cocky. He's so arrogant, and he's a control freak.
But you were there when he broke the other guy's leg. I mean, jeez Louise.
That was so not. See, here's the thing: is that you don't really see the rules are set for us, and there's a lot of safety that we're told and trained about before this is going on. So I mean, they do all their part to make sure that it's safe, and So we were thinking about our strategies of going in there, and I'm telling you, when you get an adrenaline rush and you go up there, like even when I was standing in the safety box, so that little like edge corner that we were standing in until we could go pick up our lightning sticks or whatever they call these ridiculous, insane things. I just jumped right out and went, oh, I'm sorry, like step back, because you don't think. You go up and you're like, I don't want to get tased. Like, don't tase me, bro.
Right.
So, he did not mean to do that. And we were told, they came and told us afterwards that they had reviewed the footage over and over and over again, like 1,000 times, and that Charles had stepped out of the box, but that his heel was still on the line. So, I mean, it was an honest mistake, and he really did not mean to at all. His mentality and his strategy was to drop the distraction and just go straight for it, and he expected resistance. Like, why would he want to fall off with him?
Right.
Because that's just a reset.
I don't think he did it on purpose, but I thought it was a lot so soon, Yeah.
Oh, it felt so horrible seeing, like, first the leg break, and then, and then the finger, and then I think Sam's shoulder, and it was just like, ambulance. I'm like, oh my gosh, and we're on this side.
And it's the first episode.
So imagine my happy feelings of coming home and going, it's only going to get worse.
You're like, look at me,
I'm alive! And then, oh my gosh, and then what's his name, getting his eyes split open.
Yeah.
In the first, 12 hours?
One of the newbies, yes. I know.
One of the newbies. His name is Steve, okay?
Steve, yeah.
It's Eric's opposite world's boyfriend, so, yeah. Steve, sorry, Eric. Sorry.
Okay.
You're into the Quidditch? Yeah?
I'm into the Steve, whatever he needs me to be in. Unfortunately, he doesn't play for my team.
Steve seems to be into the ladies, too. He's kind of a ladies' man up in there.
Apparently, so, I stand no chance. Let us talk for a moment.
You might.
About,
Steve likes favorite holidays, Easter.
Speaking of, let's talk about mud pits on the Worldly Challenge. Or, more specifically, before we do that.
I wish I had that one. If I had that duel, come on. I had to get thrown in the sub-freezing water, going back and forth, and for 3 minutes. Had it been one, it's like, but that was insane. People don't understand. They're like, she gave up. No, I did not give up. I kept going. And there was a point where I stopped and I held out my arms and I'm going, which felt like an eternity. And I can feel the stunt guys behind me. I just know that they're probably going, is she dying? Do we need to pull her out? And it was 5 huge breaths, and then I did it again, because as soon as you dunk your head in and you submerge, I thought I was going to be able to go all the way under and get across the 2. But you're buoyant because of the helmet as well as the shoes. And swimming in shoes, no bueno. So getting under both of them, I didn't quite make it. And as soon as you hit that water, it's like your lungs just go, oh. You're like, ugh. So as soon as I got back up, I took in water almost immediately, which doesn't look, thank God, as ridiculous as it felt when I was doing it. I felt like like the 5-year-old learning how to swim. But
Didn't you say baby deer? Didn't Luke say, how do you feel? And you were like, baby deer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel like somebody else asked me that, because I couldn't form a sentence at the time. My brain wasn't working, but it's like when you get out, you feel like your legs going I can't really stand or walk, and it's that's the best way I could explain it. You do feel like a baby deer.
That's very funny. So go ahead, John. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, so no, I wanted to kind of jump ahead to the Tuesday's episode and talk about Wyatt. So, Rachel, did you see everything that kind of went down with him and kind of stomping off and not really saying goodbye to his team, and maybe even a few interviews where he's just kind of seems like a bitter Betty a little bit?
It's because you're not seeing, I think, the aspects that go on in the houses as much as we would like. So the dynamics you're not really seeing. And it was there was a point where Wyatt was tying rope, and he was trying to make a rope for them to practice on because they didn't know who was going to be put up for the duel. And he was like, come on, guys, I got it. And he was throwing tomahawks and all these things and trying to get people involved, and they just blew him off. And so he went, I always saw him going this, okay, because he really tried, and they threw him under a bus. They threw him in there. You didn't know.
Well, I listened to Danielle this week on Kronos, and she says, you have to be prepared to get into a battle or the worldly challenge or the duel of destiny. I kind of think she's right. I mean, even though he had that alliance, it really shouldn't have been put up. But I mean, he was the obvious kind of best competitor. Yeah.
Wyatt's alliance with who?
Well, they made an alliance saying that they would put up the new guy, Steve.
Oh, yeah. It's because they had their strategy, and they sort of went back on that, which I so feel him.
Well, no, I feel him too, but I also think Danielle's kind of right where you're there to compete, and you should be ready to compete at all times, right? Because I'm sure you probably weren't, wanting to compete right off the bat yourself, but you're there to compete, so you did.
One of the questions they asked me in the sci-fi interview was, they said, were you prepared to go home? And I said, you kind of always have to be prepared in the back of your head that you might be going home. Of course, you're going to fight to the end, but, you might be going home. So you always have to be prepared for that challenge or that duel because you never know what's going to happen. Plus, that was the first duel, so we really didn't know what was going to happen. We saw it earlier, but, yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, you never had any interaction with Mercy, right? Because all right, so...
I'm not hearing she's very sweet. Not hearing good things.
We only saw the one scene, I have to say. They haven't really showed a lot of her at all. We saw her come in 2 weeks ago, and then this week we just saw her lose it on Jesse, and Jesse be like...
Oh, I've lost it on Jesse, too.
Yeah. Apparently everybody has, so...
me and Jesse got into quite a fight.
About what? Can you tell us?
He just is... He decides in the beginning that if he doesn't like somebody, and then he'll try and ostracize them, and he just won't be nice. And we have a lot in common in the sense that we're both really strong personalities. But at that point, he said something to me like, "Can you just shut the F up and go the F away? Nobody effing wants you here." But it was like to the people who were around. It wasn't like cast. It was like more of the production and other people. But the lights were, it was like coming to be bedtime, and so none of this was really recorded. But it was like I went into the testimonial and the room, and I go, "You don't have to like me, but you have to respect me." Like the next day, I went back and I'm like, I realized I was a little emotional last night, and I said some things. I'm like, but I mean them all, every single one. So yeah, it was a heated fight. I told him in front of everybody, like, you can't just treat some people like this, and then he realized that this might be shown to people, and he changed his tune really quickly.
Well, one of my favorite moments this week was, even though I'm not a big Jesse fan, but when Mercy was sitting there talking, I'm an athlete. Nobody better mess with me. And don't try to talk to me like that, Jesse. Don't even do it. And then he turns around and says, was this how you were in your interview? Like, do people know who you are?
I can't imagine talking to Jesse like that. I think that is just opening up for that. Oh, my gosh, that'd be ridiculous.
Jeff Fry does not let Jesse get a word in. And you are kind of changing my image now on Jesse, because, look, I get it. Editing can make you feel any way you want about anybody, and I really like Jesse a lot.
He's really great, though. It's like we didn't really get along all the time, but towards the end we started getting along more. It's just learning how to deal with people and have a solidarity within your house. So, having a dynamic with everybody, you should see Frank and Fry's dynamic. It's ridiculous. It's funny. It's really funny. And a lot of fun things were happening, too, that you're not seeing. But, so I really like Jesse. I still think he's going to win. I contend to this day that it's like if I would like somebody to win, I would have really liked either Sam or I guess the game's not over yet, but I would like for Sam or Danielle to win because I like them a lot. I think they're great people, and I think that they're both, competitors. I think Jesse's going to get it.
What do you think about how the popularity index is happening with Frank? Frank's a New York firefighter. We all love our New York firefighters, especially all the stuff that has gone down. But the way he's kind of coming across with America, the excessive grooming. He's so
OCD. He's more OCD than me. It was funny. We used to make jokes about it all the time. I said that if somebody asked me, okay, if you guys were going to switch sides and go to Epoch, who would deal with it the worst? Frank. Easily Frank, because he'd go over there and be like, who moved this leaf? Did you move this leaf? Where'd this plant go? This tree should be here. Like, just not deal with it well. I mean, he actually, like, cleans his shoes and buffs his shoes every night. So, I mean, he's so funny. That. But I think that the way that he's coming off, I think people are really judging him based on the way that he looks. Based on that he's, like, New York, like, big. He's kind of Guido-ish. Like, it's kind of funny. But he knows that.
I like him. I like
great.
Too.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he is good.
Knowing them, I love Danielle. Lizette's a sweetheart. I think she's coming off the wrong way because there's a point where you're just like, okay, it's enthusiasm. I'll say it the way, okay, I'm just going to say it. And I think she comes off, she's funny, and if you don't really know her, then you don't see that as being funny necessarily. You say, like, what a cocky, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, what a cocky bitch. Or as Jeffrey would say, these fucking bitches. So, yeah, I mean, I love Danielle. I love Lizette. Frank, love Frank. But there was actually a point where I heard Jeffrey, like, a pretty good hearing, but I heard Jeffrey go up to Frank and go, okay, so I got your back if you got my back. And I was like, oh, alliance is already being made. Okay. So I should have probably guessed from that point. But I didn't really, I just went and told somebody else, I'm like, man, they're already making alliances over there. And I already knew that I was going to be thrown in first. There was a point, though, because there was that heated Wyatt-Jesse thing, that I wasn't entirely sure. I think it would have been smarter for them to throw in Frank. Smarter for them in positioning. Not saying I would throw Frank under a bus or anything, but, like, as far as, like, that level playing field,
right.
I think that would have been smarter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both teams are going to have to work together. Like, I'm just going to assume that we don't have a lot of weeks left in this show. We can't keep them on separate sides forever. We're going to have to split them up somehow soon and make it more of an individual game. So if they don't get Frank out, he's going to win the whole thing. Because I think he could beat Jesse in something.
It depends. I mean, if you have something like that water challenge again, or something it's like, I'm not understanding the challenges in the duels because some of them are like really hard. I mean, this swimming thing, don't even get me started, as well as, but then some of them are really easy. Like the swords in the water, and I don't know about the tomatoes. What is going on with the tomatoes? It's like, okay, we can't really figure out what's a tomato in their hand, in Frank's hand. So
that all reminds.
It depends on the duel and the challenge, and I don't think at this point that they're really siding, like that they're even, right. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying they don't feel like this game is fair or balanced enough. But to those people, I'll say, look, are you the same people that when we all watch Big Brother say that production manipulates Big Brother? Like, you're basically getting an unmanipulated game from production. So clearly the people that have the food, are able to sleep, are being taken care of, are going to perform better in every single challenge than the people living off carrots.
And that's what I said in the beginning, is that I'm like, they're not getting protein, they're not getting good sleep. In the beginning, they had a lot of energy and they weren't getting sleep, and I think that's part of the reason why we had more energy than them in the first Worldly Challenge. But as it furthered, it was like they're not getting the right nutrients, they're not getting the right sleep, they are, exposed to certain elements, the cold, as well as like, the straw and sleeping in the straw and wounds and whatnot. And it's like, with us getting stronger with all this food, and people say that, like, did you guys get really lazy over there in the future? And no, we didn't. We were working out, we were doing stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how, if they keep them being that hardcore of challenges or worldly challenges, that they're gonna be able to switch.
Something needs to switch up. I know Luke keeps trying to sell us it on Twitter and in our interview with him, and I don't buy that there is one advantage to the past. So if we're trying to say we want both sides to be equal,
I know, right? What was that about? I'm like, okay, you go over there.
Yeah.
No.
there's no advantage other than sympathy. Great, sympathy clearly is working, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because when a Chronos person battles an Epoch person, they're going to destroy them every time.
Well, not necessarily. You saw JR fly out there like a bat out of hell and take out Fry on the platform. We did not expect that. You start to learn how people are. I think that JR is actually a little more fierce than he puts out.
Oh, of course he is.
Absolutely.
He's a lawyer, and he likes to argue. But
I also think that he isn't showing a lot of what he's thinking. So for number one in popularity, that blows my mind. It's like, pay attention, people. Like, look what's going on.
Oh, 100%. JR is playing like the dumb little Muppet. And Jeff Fry is the best player in that house right now. He's the only one playing the game, aside from Jesse.
He's playing a completely different game.
Well, he's playing to win, I feel like. He knows to make the alliance with the other side of the house.
But he's playing a game. He's actually playing a game.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Rachel?
I actually just watched his video on Sci-Fi, where he found out that he was the least favorite. And I went, really? You really don't know? And JR kind of goes, like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like seeing the things that he was saying when he went over there, and we were standing next to him, and we were under the, our strategy was, okay, we're going to be play dumb about everything. Anything they ask, anything JR asks, we're just going to kind of play dumb and see what they're doing and figure out more from them. Maybe we'll get him with questions. And then what was funny, he took over Danielle, he took over Jesse, and then he took over Fry, and then he didn't take over me and Frank. Or, well, Lisette was protected, but yeah, that was confusing, but at the same time, it was kind of shrugged off. I think Jeffrey said, I think he felt like he was running out of time. And so to see him go, maybe I just don't like that. I mean, to me, the least popular, and it's like, come on, you don't know why you're the least popular? These people are so stupid. Really?
Right. Well, that brings up a good point from this week. So we saw, like he said last week, Jeff Fry gets most hated or whatever. He's breaking down crying. He gets punished to not have any food. And there's Jesse, who's like,
I wish he got the outside one. I wish he had to sleep outside. I would have liked that one better.
Well, he might, but I mean, we see Jesse because
it's
there's a new one coming up. But we see Jesse comfort him last week. Then this week, or actually technically last week for real now, Jesse becomes the punished one, and there's
my days
Jeff
are
Fry.
blurring together, so I feel you. I have no idea what day it is.
And then there's Jeff Fry laughing at him. So Jesse supported him when it was him. Jesse gets it. Jeff Fry laughs at him. That is why people are not liking the Jeff Fry.
And that is why this is Jesse's game.
And I also think, too, with editing, I mean, we see Jeff Fry and Jesse going at it, and then the next thing, oh, they're playing video games, and It's like, well, come on, what is this?
Yeah, I missed that boat, the video game boat. It was like being in... I was like, this is my nightmare. This is being in hell. Oh my gosh, all the technology, and it was like they had certain things because we couldn't connect to the outside world, to the internet. It's like you can have all the technology in the world, but if you're disconnected, especially in the age of social media and social networking,
especially in the future, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had lots of really cool stuff that worked, but
You had a toilet.
Oh my God!
We also had an Xbox One, and that thing needs internet. So I was like,
yeah. Yes, it does.
Oh no, Dead Rising 4 for you then in the house.
No Halo.
Anything.
Mm-hmm. No. If anybody could have figured that out, it would have been you, Rachel. You would have figured out a way to get them. You did?
I set up a lot. I helped set up a lot of it. They were like, so can you figure out how this works and whatnot? I was like, I'm on it. I've been there. Okay. Like that arcade thing. That thing was cool. That would be, if I could take one thing home, it would be that.
Which they finally got to show us. I was glad they started this week to show us a little bit of what
guys.
it's like. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
shame.
I'm sure. I wonder. I mean, you probably can't tell us the answer to this, but I wonder if they're going to bring you guys back for like a live finale episode.
I have no idea. I don't even know. So I probably wouldn't be able to tell you anyways. But even if I don't even know.
I say
my cat's meowing. Hold on.
Oh, the cat. Oh, that was
yeah.
That was too.
Want some of that?
Yes. Uh-oh. Oh, now it's above you. I think the cat said yes, but we'll have to tune in later on. So, no surprise, like I said, Jesse this week won Lee's most favorite now, because last week he was the one offering himself up to go to the past to try and convince the team to go to the past, which put him to be America's.
He's being a martyr right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's being a martyr. Oh, I'll help you. I'll do your punishment with you. I will go over and do this with you. And then he knows his game. He's definitely playing a game, and you know what? He actually is. He has sincerity, but I think for him, it's like, I'm playing the game, but I am sincere once I know what the game is.
What I know, you probably didn't have a lot of interactions with her, but again, this week we saw Lauren, or the past week we saw Lauren win most favorite. She doesn't even seem to struggle or pretend like it's hard for her to pick Sam to go do the reward and just kind of brush off Angela. Did you
who has to compete for the second time, right?
Well,
I didn't understand why JR got protected the first time and not Sam, who fought like a beast. She was like a spider monkey, like Spider-Man. I mean, we thought at least 5 times that Lizette had her over the edge. We're like, yeah, what? And she flipped back over and just locked her, and it was amazing. It was an amazing thing, and that's why we picked Lizette immediately. We were like, Lizette was the queen of that duel, or that challenge, and yeah, absolutely. So when we saw that they picked JR, we're like, how do you think Sam feels right now? That's got to be horrible. So, I mean, Sam's one of the sweetest, funniest things there. She is absolutely great. So I didn't understand that. Lauren has the finger wound, and she's been babying it, but from what I understand, it's better now. So I thought that was going to hinder her in challenges, and I figured that's why they would be, protecting her, or she would have trouble with duels.
Yeah.
But
it seems like, I don't know, it seems like everybody in that house now, except for Jeff Fry, is playing this like kumbaya, happy, we all love each other, let's be nice.
Because they get it. They get it. As soon as they were like, wait, there's a popularity thing going on. Okay, because we didn't know how. We knew that there was going to be interaction with America, a type of thing. It was like we didn't know much. So as soon as these things happened, it was like, I watched them. I could see in their eyes, like, oh, okay. You can see them like kind of plotting their next move, because it's all game for everyone except I think Danielle and Sam. Like, I think that they're like the most loyal and sweet ever.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, even seeing Danielle talking to everyone when she was protected and saying, I'm not going to take you each one aside, I'm just going to talk to the group, and that kind of annoyed Frank this week. Yeah, I mean, she's sitting there saying, I'm loyal, I'm this, I'm going to do that, but we haven't really seen anything yet, so it didn't surprise me.
They're not showing a lot of her. I think that what we've been seeing is like the more popular people are getting a little, well, it's gone back and forth, but getting a little less FaceTime at a certain point, and I guess they're trying to just get the numbers more even. And then it switched up a little, I noticed. So then so I'm not really sure. It depends on the FaceTime. I think if Lizette got more actual FaceTime and Danielle got more FaceTime, you'd see like that they're both so awesome. Frank is so awesome.
I'm starting to see how awesome Lizette is, because the first week I wasn't that big of a fan, but now as I'm seeing and getting to know her a little bit more, I'm liking her a lot better than I did originally.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she really is great. So when I saw, I was really confused when I was like, I wasn't confused, but I mean, it made sense that Jared, when people have sympathy for them being over in Kronos, and we knew that they were going to have the vote. Mm-hmm. But 90%, I didn't quite understand. I think there were some things going on there that had to be changed within the system. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But Lizette she's really awesome.
So we were just kind of talking about technology a little bit. What did you think about the Vigo robot worldly challenge that they had when they were all kind of combined and strapped together and in the mud?
That's the last one I did not see. I did not.
Oh,
see
you
that
didn't
one.
see that one? Oh.
But I know. Spoiler alert! No, but I heard
Want to
that
tell you one?
there was no. You're good. You're good. Actually, you tell me, please, because there's an aspect of this whole thing that I don't want to watch it. Like
I want you to watch
memories.
it because I think you're gonna scream at the TV like I did.
But there's also that part where I was there and I know that there's so much not being seen. I guess I could read probably more of their facial expressions and whatnot and make it more fun when they come back to talk to them. But yeah.
I mean, there was nothing. I don't even understand, honestly, why we had to spend 40 minutes watching them do that worldly challenge at all. I was like, we get it. They're playing in the mud. And Kronos won. Yay. But the teams chose, now speaking of Danielle and getting more airtime, the teams chose Danielle and Sam to be protected, which I kind of feel like did give them a little bit more airtime this week, but all we learned about Danielle is she's honest and she's loyal. Now, again, is this like playing to America?
She's honest, loyal, sweet, funny. I mean, this girl she's everything that she looks like. You can't even think she's almost even playing a game because she went and personally trained everybody in our house, and you saw her. She was the first one to go up to Jeffrey and go, "Oh, honey, like it's it's not America doesn't matter. Like when it really comes down to it, we like you." So it's like she really is the sweetest. She came and talked to me after me and Jesse got into the fight.
Yeah, okay. You heard it here. You heard it from Rachel. I don't know how it really.
Danielle is a sweetheart. She really is, really, really is. And as soon as I went home, I was rooting for her in the beginning. I feel that Jesse will win. I think this is his game. I do.
I definitely agree. I think it is 100% Jesse's game to win. Now, basically, we see the teams get together and kind of have a little, a repeat of Wyatt almost, where Angela is saying, we need to take out the good person on their team, and we all need to come to a consensus and agree. Unfortunately, what the consensus kind of seems to be is, hey, Angela, you're going in for a second time.
And I knew if I stayed there too, they would keep putting me back in, so it would have just been me and Angela over and over and over again. So, poor thing.
Why? Because
thrown in.
Because
we're perceived as being the weakest, and I believe that Jeffrey Fry also threw me under because I was considerably his parallel as far as like the next in the chain was concerned.
Well, then that's stupid gameplay by Jeffrey, because you would always want to keep you would want you as that shield in front of him.
Right.
The longer you're there, he's protected. Yeah.
But no, I know. Throw him in that water.
Just putting that on the list as reasons to hate Jeffrey.
I don't hate him, though. I know that he's trying to play a game. I got along with him really well, but he was actually one of the people who was crying when I was leaving. I actually got more of a loving... Real.
Well, he says he can cry on demand.
He can.
So, yeah.
Really cry.
Yeah.
Well,
but his genuine cry, like me.
I can cry right now if you want. Rachel!
Yeah, I mean, it was just so ridiculous. That was the one that was my favorite when he goes.
Well, we know. We know. He told Luke. I like telenovelas, therefore my crying is not real. I think it's mostly real, Jeffrey. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was very funny and good to be around, and it's just like to see him go and say they're all stupid.
Right. Well, he's playing the villain, but I want to know what everybody thinks. Comment below and let us know. And I want to hear what you think about this, Rachel, because I kind of have some strong opinions, and I know everybody's talking about it. So on last night's episode, I'm sure you know by now that Jeffrey and JR are working together, Jeffrey throwing the food over the wall. Basically, on last night's live show, they told us how they separated the teams so that nobody would know, and then they brought Jeffrey and JR outside to talk to Luke, talk all about their alliance together. which I think Jeffrey played off brilliantly. He answered all of those questions in a way right in front of JR, which was like, look at how much I'm doing for you on that side, JR. Look at everything. Like, he was planting those seeds, but then they let both sides out. So if they're letting both sides out, do they not think both sides are going to be like, wow, why did Jeffrey and JR get their own time
conversation
together? Yeah.
I kind of wonder how they're not seeing him communicate in the. I mean, I kind of understand because you're not really like screaming. It's kind of like, oh, and then blah blah blah. Can you hear me now? But I mean, I don't understand how they're not seeing all of these things. Go on.
Danielle caught him in the last episode. Danielle caught him in the bathroom talking to Jeffrey, and they alluded to it.
And I told her in the beginning, too, I'm like, he was just making an alliance with Frank, and she was like, really, already? I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They alluded to it because Danielle was mad that Jeffrey was unwilling to go in against JR, and everybody just kept saying, why, what are you not telling us, what's your relationship with him? Like, they didn't really come out and say it in the edit, but I think it's pretty clear that everybody knows they have an alliance, and if they didn't, watching them get their own interview with Luke before the Duel of Destiny, pretty sure sealed the deal for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I would love to see that duel. Sign me up.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. I've actually called pretty much everything that's been happening so far, except for the new players, although I knew that they were going to be hazed. I had a feeling that was going to be the initial.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And they were. Tie them up and throw tomatoes at them. Letting Frank throw tomatoes at them. You saw the shield?
Oh, my God.
It was like decimated.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't because they actually used him and Jesse would go back and forth and just throw, like in the living room when we were waiting to go, like for like 5 minutes. You know, we were working out, waiting to go, and they would be just pitching to each other, and it was they could throw baseballs.
I'm sure they can. I felt horrible for Frank. I also just want to say, on a side note, and maybe you can't answer this, do they, like, coach you guys at all on how to reply to Luke? Because the most disappointing thing for me, as a viewer, is, like, everyone every week is standing out there for the Duel Destiny, and Luke's like, hey, everybody, are you guys all excited for today's challenge? And everybody's just like, Like, nobody reacts to him. No,
we weren't coached, and he was wearing a leather jacket, and we were in spandex everything, so we were a little colder. Didn't have that blood flowing. Luke. Some of the things would change, what he was saying, and it was just like, between being the live stuff and the pre-recorded stuff, we don't know what's going on really. So I can only speak for the first live show, but I don't even remember what I said. He asked me, I think, about Jesse.
He asked you how you were feeling when you got out of the water, and you were like dying.
Cold.
Cold. There seems to be a lot of stipulations. I know James again on AfterBuzz was saying how Luke said that Team Kronos beat Team Epoch by like less than 5 minutes or around 5 minutes, but they told us what the times were, and they were way more than 5 minutes or something, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. They need to update their scripts a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Aurelia, you're saying. So,
right. Yeah.
Sam and Danielle are the protected, and then we as America, not surprisingly, although very surprising to Danielle, her poor face, she thought she was selling that honesty and loyalty for the first episode. Nope. With 86% of the vote, it is actually Sam who is chosen as the decider, which...
Well, it's Epoch. I mean, you have... People want to see them on the other. I want to see them on the other side. Sorry, guys. I want to see them on the other side. We want to see that dynamic. It's just unfair now. So I hope that they get over there. And I think with the filtering in the new players, I think they have a chance. But I mean, I thought Wyatt was going to win. I really did. It was so close. It was so close that I'm like, really, like swords. And come on, why couldn't mine have been like that? Really, it was just a little too. There wasn't really wasn't that challenging.
It was the first one. I think they like to come out with a bang on the first one. Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. So I mean,
I can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Well, and I mean, technically, you know, Wyatt, as he told us in his interview, it was God that intervened and why he lost. And that's why he lost, because God told him he was needed at home, or worked through him, or something else crazy. So, right. Sam decides to put in Angela, which we kind of knew it was leading up to that, against Frank. And then we see Angela decide. So she sees this whole obstacle course in front of her now for the Duel of Destiny. There's the zip lines, there's the cones, there's the things you can crawl under. Luke flips the coin.
Those are fun. Those are fun, too. I've done that.
Yeah, that's fun. But then Angela chose to be chased. So obviously she gets it's either be chased or be captured.
Yeah.
And she chooses to be chased, which made no sense to me. Because if you're the chaser, at least you can take a break. If you're being chased, you don't get to take a break for a minute. So I don't get why she did that. Do you think that was a good strategy or not, Rachel?
In any event of them being picked, it's like who they're against. So, based on what they're seeing of a player, I mean, she was against Frank, right?
Right.
That's hard either way. So, I don't know if I would want to be chased by or chasing Frank. I don't even know how I would do that. I don't know how fast she is.
If you were against Frank chasing you through all of those obstacles versus you chasing Frank, meaning if you kind of get a little tired, you can take a break because you're the chaser, which would have probably been better for Angela. We're thinking if she chased Frank, her odds would have been better of winning.
Against Frank in that kind of situation, I don't think she really had high odds. I don't think that was really fair for her. I don't think that was a good matchup.
Well, neither does a lot of America, but you could argue who's to blame for it, though. Then is Epoch to blame because they made the choice to send her in and they saw what it was. So.
Well, I mean, like, I thought I was going to be against Wyatt, and I was panic attacking when I'm like, okay, it's me, it's going to be versus Wyatt, and they actually did a good thing and they put me versus Angela, so it was a little more even, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it kind of levels out the playing field when it's that cold of water. But yeah, so I don't know what their strategy is of picking, because every time they have some strategy, they switch it up, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, their strategy was that, honestly, I just feel like Lauren and Sam kind of have a thing, and Angela's not in it.
That's Steve.
And they need the guys. So sorry, Angela, you're going in. And we're going to use the excuse that we know it's this agility thing, that it's going to be really tough for Frank. But then there's big giant Frank, and literally 2 feet from him is Angela on the zip line. Frank could have literally just swatted her down. He was already like Wreck-It Ralph, like just through everything.
Beast mode. I would definitely choose chasing over it, because that's scary. You turn around, you're like, oh my god, rah! I would not be able. That's nightmarish.
Yeah, no. I think her odds would have been better if she was the chaser. Yeah.
Definitely, and she got stuck. She says she didn't mean to land where she landed. She ran the wrong way. And here's the part that I'll say, speaking for what I see a lot of social media saying. Luke said the rules were you could go under, over, or around things. He didn't say you could smash through the stuff and grab her. Now, Luke did reply to that on social media, and he basically said the rules were very clearly explained before, so they all knew exactly what they could or couldn't do, regardless of what I said.
They're very clearly explained. We get a whole overview where they're they have a phone that they are recording us on where we have to hold up our hand as our signature, that we hear and have understood. We get a chance to ask questions, and in certain events we get chances to, if there's danger aspects, to learn how to, like a high fall, they will show us how to do this. So it's safer. Obviously not safe, but safer. So if there was any lack of clarity on the rules, I mean, it's like America's not really seeing the rules because it takes up a lot of time to explain. They're seeing the basics of the rules, and that's why a lot of people were against Jesse, because they didn't know that Jesse, knew his rules and was seeing what he was seeing. They thought it was just a cheap shot, like, I'm just going to charge him and knock him off and break his face off. So.
Yeah. I hope that people understand that when we're watching a reality show, there's a lot of stuff we don't understand. Unfortunately, people think that it is exactly a person's character, and every single thing about them you get in those 30, 45 minutes. So yeah, no surprise.
I wish they had so much more of what happens in the houses, because it's so funny.
And
it's like,
too.
You should be able to base a lot of what you think about, a person by seeing them interact and seeing the dynamics. And then there will be people you don't like. And you'll see more of the things like Fry being lovely to everybody and then horrible behind everyone's back.
Well, we kind of suspect that. But it would be nice, because we're all Big Brother people here, to have some kind of live feeds, to get to know what's going on in the house more, to understand people's kind of their strategies, instead of Luke having to pull a couple people out to talk to them live. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we would love to see that.
It is a social experiment in their defense, so I think it's kind of, it's so new that... Wait, what?
I said, so is Big Brother.
No, but
well, Big Brother's had a few seasons, too. Actually, I have a friend in Israel who got second place in Big Brother, and she's huge. I know, I didn't even know it was in Israel at the time, but, so, I mean...
Wow.
Right?
Well, they're everywhere. Big Brother is everywhere. But yeah,
it's like American Idol.
It is. And I mean, we want live feeds. Hopefully next year that is something that they will do. I mean, the ratings seem to be so high. Opposite Worlds is winning their time slots. They're trending every single week. So hopefully it'll be back, and hopefully next season we will get some live feeds on it. And but whatever. I don't know. Do we even mention that Angela lost? I mean, that was obvious, right? Angela lost 10 seconds. It took 10 seconds for her to lose.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then...
We're going to miss you, Angela. We miss you. We love you.
She's a sweetheart. And, people kept saying things on social media. I try and be present and respond to questions and answer as the first person who was off. I was available to do so, and I was responding to people who were like bashing and saying all these horrible things. I'm like, no, she's really great. Angela's great. They said Danielle doesn't do anything. She doesn't help. No, yes, she does. They said, Jesse is horrible and he's such a jerk and he was cheap. No, it really wasn't. And
poor Jesse.
No, not poor Jesse, but poor Charles. And Jesse felt really bad in that situation, but he knows his game he's playing.
Have you talked to Charles? Because I never have enough time when I'm doing the actual phone interviews to ask that question, but I always want to know, have you talked to Charles? Do you know how he's doing?
He was supposed to come in on the AfterBuzz show that I was on, but he did not come in. He was supposed to phone in. Didn't hear from him. I spoke with Wyatt. I spoke once with Angela, but she was probably still in the days of coming back, so I haven't really talked to her. I'll probably talk to her later, but yeah, I've not spoken to Charles. Charles was kind of strange to watch from the other side, because it seemed just like he wasn't there and he wasn't really present, so I didn't get very much of a connection with him at all.
Well,
no wonder his leg got broken. That explains.
I will say about JR, I don't know if they showed this. I don't believe they did, but there was a point where JR came up to us and he said, by the way, if any of you have anything to tell me that might benefit me, because I'm in it to win the game, take me aside and tell me. And, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, he's playing that game too.
And yeah, I think he's playing all game. I think everybody.
He's playing well.
It's like everybody
Well, it's a
is
game.
and not. It's a game.
It's like I feel like I know who's going to be taken out, and it makes me sad, and I don't even want to call it out, but I know who's going to be
Please,
taken out.
what are your predictions?
No. We need a
Rachel?
prediction for next week.
Yeah, we need a prediction, Rachel.
Well, some of my well, it depends because like, what's the challenge? What's the duel? Like, what is it? Because now it's just like you don't even know. You have no idea what's coming up.
Well, if you knew it wouldn't be a prediction.
Okay, so I've got something. So as the teams dwindle, and they eventually, I think they're going to merge. Where are they going to merge, or are they? What's your prediction, Rachel?
The two teams merging?
Yeah.
I don't know, because somebody asked me this question. I was like, I never really actually thought about that. I've thought about so many other things, but not that. What happens when you get to like the last two people?
Yeah.
Are they just on each? Are they on each corner?
Or,
Like, are they just on each side and just by themselves? Like, or are you going to put them together? Are there going to be challenges? You just don't know.
Or what if there's like 5 on Chronos and like 2 on Epoch? Then what do you do? Like 3 sit out, or do the teams merge and then do we all go to the future, or do we take down the glass wall and it's a detention?
That's where I don't know what they're actually going to be doing with that. I have no idea. And so
what do you think they might do? What would you do?
For which you're talking about for
merging both
them?
teams together, and then the house. How do you divide the house?
Well, what's funny to me is that you have the you have the past, and then you have the future, and then you have the present, but everything's happening in the present. So like, you're not like, I want to see what's going on in the past and the future more, which you're getting a little more of now. And I had originally said that I think it would have been better if the punishments and the rewards had been something like, okay, well, you from Epoch, go start a fire, and you guys go, do something on the future side.
Yeah.
Like that, I thought that would have been funny, and then they did it. Yeah.
Like you go to the bathroom.
Enjoy your bath, and
and I'll eat some s'mores, right?
the s'mores. Yeah, we ate all the marshmallows before we even got to s'mores. It's too cold outside.
I have a feeling that they have to merge all these people somehow, but then when you're dealing with a show that is so specifically based on the past and the future, I don't know how they could do that unless, I don't know.
Oh, I just can't wait to see them switch. I can't wait. I'm so excited, and that's where I will be really, really, really watching. I've kind of been biding my time before watching because, like I said, I've been having nightmares about it. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, let me put it this way. We know Jesse wants to take the whole team into the past.
Yeah, and we're like, what are you talking about? No.
Well, at the end of last night's episode, we find out Jeffrey is America's favorite and is getting, rewarded this week. So I'm just saying, if production wanted to manipulate some things, they should give him
Jeffrey's the most popular? I didn't see
Jesse.
Oh, I was like, what? That freaked me out. Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, Jesse is, but I think production should give him some sort of power that lets him be like the sole decider of where they go at the end of the next Worldly Challenge.
Oh, the rest of them would be so mad.
Oh, yeah, but it would create some drama, and that's what
Frank would be so mad. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Frank. Well...
Lizette would be mad. Fry would be mad. Fry would be really mad.
Clearly they all would be mad.
Danielle would be okay, I think. But she's always really cold, so I think she would just be... I mean, I'm telling you, she would just walk around just like this all the time. Like, it's not really that cold right now. She'd be like, I'm so cold. So she would always be outside working out to, like, get up some metabolic heat.
Eat a cheeseburger, Danielle. I don't know why.
She's a personal she's a personal trainer. Like, she changed my eating habits, as well as she was, always working out and being active. She's so sweet. It's like hard to hear bad things about her because she is so sweet, and that's why I don't think it'll be her game either. But she is fiercer than she lets off.
Oh, I think she definitely is. And everybody that watches our shows know we don't really mean anything we say. We're just trying. We're just trying to be funny. I just love anybody. Now, I unfortunately need to apologize to the chat room because our chat is stuck in Frozen from 2 minutes in. Dana, actually, one of our bloggers, messaged me, and she said that individual challenges individual challenges, top performers go to the future, bottom performers go to the past.
Ooh,
So,
Dana, that's a good one.
brilliant ideal, Dana, on that. I think that is how they could split it up, where they don't have, they could
Ooh.
mix the teams, and brilliant.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I know that a lot of the things that, I mean, as far as the challenges and duels, are already all designed and set. I mean, they weren't going to like throw us
Right.
if we were like, oh, I'm so scared of spiders and
Mhm.
snakes. They weren't just going to throw them at you. It's not like a fear factor thing. So, I mean, all of these things were designed already. But I think that they're kind of winging it with the punishments and the, because you're seeing it's evolving. So that you did have Jesse and Frank go to the other side, and you did have the girls come over. It's funny to me. Like, I've been kind of calling how it's been going, and now it's like I need to keep up with it because I want
Right.
to see if it keeps going the way I've been thinking it will.
I kind of agree with Michael, who is saying maybe merge all of them to the future, then America can put the least favorites in the past, which I think, yeah, I mean, I think America could decide it. I think it could be challenge-based. So, I mean, we'll see. We will see what happens with it.
I've been hoping that they would mix it up, but I think that there should be an initial like switch. But
Yeah,
because I think they deserve a switch.
Well, it's a win.
Yeah. And considering they're malnourished, probably not going to happen.
Well,
Probably
they've been giving them a lot more. They've been giving them a lot more protein and a lot more things because they realized that it was really
Yeah.
obviously hindering their ability to perform. They were becoming really tired, and you could see them getting skinnier, and it just didn't make sense. So, I mean, they are getting more, and
Right.
I think that they're being, I think they're being put into positions where they're going to be given a little more to boost their chances, which I think is fair.
Like Baby Rabbit, which was
But-
disgusting. They give them,
Thumper!
yeah.
Thumper, no!
Oh,
When
I've had
you-
worse things in my mouth.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, you did.
Well, that escalated quickly.
And you were worried about cursing. So,
Man, don't censor me. My PC-ness is like, no, there's not a PC bone in my body.
there's
I mean-
a lot of. Well, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, yes, it is. No, the other one.
Oh, there, and I cut you off. Well, look, I have to kind of cut all of us off a little bit. Because
No,
we have
you lead it. I'm loving it.
No, we do. But I want to first say, everybody, I'm going to follow up with all of your questions. We will answer them. I am sorry chat got locked. I will go back and answer all of them later. But Rachel, before we wrap it up, tell people a little bit, like, I don't want to say it for you, because I don't think your storyline and about yourself was never kind of really fleshed out, unfortunately, on the show. I don't think a lot of people know about what you do and stuff like that. So tell people a little bit before we wrap it up.
Well, I'm a multimedia personality, which has been hard to kind of siphon that down to one thing because I spread myself way too thin. But it's like I cosplay. I mean, it's like nerd culture, and it's kind of it kind of worked out for me in the end because it's become geek chic and more socially acceptable, as well as we got a lot of cool things coming out as far as swag goes. But it's like I cosplay, so I'll make costumes, as well as I'm a panelist. I speak about video games, history of video games, sexism in video games, violence in video games, at panels at like Comic-Con, major events, South by Southwest, as well as I am in the video game industry where I do character modeling for video games, as well as
You're
I've done
pretty.
press. What?
I said you're very pretty.
Thank you. The character she was kind of like brutish in the last game, in the Resident Evil game that I was in, so it was kind of funny to me. Little girl, but she was like, man, I'm gonna blow things up, and she's British. It was great. But I'm also in the film industry, so we had my last film, Killer Holiday, in Redbox, where it was Lionsgate. It broke records for Redbox, sold completely out. It was on its like second release of it, and so I do a lot. There's so many things I do. It's like hard to even like draw upon.
You do, and we will put the links to all of Rachel's stuff below so that you guys can check it out. But I will
So
say,
is it going to be like right here, or no? I'm just kidding. It's live. I get it.
Yeah, it's.
I don't get lower thirds.
Right in your
Right here in this box where there's nothing.
In your the crotchy area.
Oh, so you guys can't see it, but
Yeah.
you wish you could.
Thanks for hanging out with us, discussing opposite worlds. You can follow me at Comedy Jonah.
Dude, breaking news, everybody. Oh, there's no Angela interview. Apparently it has been postponed till later this weekend or maybe the beginning of next week. We're not really sure why. Apparently she hasn't even done her exit interview for Sci-Fi yet, so she's missing. Angela's missing in action. Anybody see Angela? Hello, Angela. So I'm really sorry. Ignore all of the stuff where we said she was coming because I can't go back and edit that all out. I need to give you guys the edited show now, but I apologize. I didn't know. I literally just found out right after we finished that show with Rachel. But hey, this brings up a really good point. You guys, don't forget to subscribe to our iTunes channel. Go check out yourrealityrecaps.com/podcast. You will see all your options. You can get our whole feed in audio or our whole feed in video, or you can get just specific shows in audio or video. And rate us 5-star. 5-star, give us a nice comment and review. That I want you guys to do. I never ask you. And if enough of you do it, we could actually go to the Podcast Awards this year and possibly win the Podcast Awards for, like, Best Produced. Because you all know that we're Best Produced, right? Totally Best Produced. Okay, Rob is really Best Produced. I think we're tied. Whatever. The point is, 5 stars and comment over in iTunes. We would really appreciate it because that is where I'm going to only put the Angela interview the second it happens at some point, and I will tweet out and let you guys all know. So, of course, follow us on Twitter at Reality Recaps. Thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. Check out our daily vlogs, and most importantly, next Saturday, February 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing our Valentine's Day Love and Advice show. I hope you guys all tune in for that, because who wouldn't want advice from some gays and reality star? I know I do. Of course, that'll be at yourrealityrecaps.com/live show, and the links to this, everything I've mentioned, are below. All right, everybody, until our next vlog or our next video, we will see you guys all then. Bye for now. Live show schedule is where you can see when our shows are next. Okay, bye for real. Bye. Everybody. I didn't end with everybody. Bye, everybody.